You know, they never could figure out who set the Cathedral of Notre Dame on fire.
No?
No, never did. But Quasimodo has a hunch.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, what a shame. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 7 of That's Class, a podcast about things we find class, hosted by two of your favourite class holes. My name is Ruaridh Kidd, and co-hosting with me, as always, is Duncan Malcolm. How's it going, Dunk?
It's going really well. How are you today? How are you? What's it like down your way? It's pretty sunny here, although very cold. It was spring for all of a day.
Yeah, it's been really good. We've had some northerly winds coming through, so it's pretty arctic and chilly. But we've had nowhere near as much snow as you guys have had, apparently.
No, well, we haven't had any snow. We had like a light dusting of hail last night. Like it was just hailstones consistently. But apart from that, it's not. We had a couple of flurries of snow, but nothing major.
Yeah.
Up north, it's been really bad.
Yeah, my mum and dad had snow in their back garden.
Huh.
Yeah.
Their
It's not that too far north.
Huh. Well, we don't know. City centre, city of Edinburgh. No.
Yeah, nah, it's
As soon
too
as you
hot.
get across water,
Too much pollution.
Yeah, too much pollution. That's it. It's actually just sitting just above us in this little layer of smog.
But no, we've had some sun this week. We like kind of. It looked like we were gonna have snow, and then it stayed around 12 to 14 degrees. But we had like a 4-degree wind chill or something. It's been really cold in the wind, but if you manage to find like a spot that's out the wind, then it's absolutely roasting. We've got blue skies, no clouds today. Pretty good. Awesome. Life in the southwest is not too shabby.
Yeah, it's practically tropics down there compared to up here.
Yeah, and back at the surf school, which is great. I'm now reduced my days in the warehouse and back coaching on the weekends, which is brilliant.
Oh, that's good. Is that now allowed? Is it?
It is as of the 12th of April, which is when this pod comes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you can listen to this pod and you can listen to it at the pub. You know.
Oh, your pubs are open from tomorrow. Oh,
pubs are opening on the 12th. Oh, is the pubs different in Scotland?
I swear pubs are different up here, unless I've missed something. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it's a huge thing here.
I'll bet it's a huge thing. I'll bet it is, yeah. Have you booked your table for the pub, Rory?
I've honestly not, because I didn't think that far ahead. But there's a pub just down the road from me, so I might take my chances and see if there's any tables.
Ours is April. Ours is the 26th.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shit, that's a hell of a long way to wait.
It's not that. It's not really. It's only 15
another week.
days. 2 weeks.
Yeah, another 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Not really that bad. Could be worse.
But yeah, tomorrow in England, that's for sure, is a big change. So if you want to listen to this podcast while you're in the pub, that's absolutely fine. Yeah. We're going to release this podcast every Monday morning for your listening pleasure. You can listen to it.
Segue.
Yes, good segue. You can listen to it wherever you have your podcasts: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor FM, if you so desire. We basically have it in time for your commute, on your way to work, or on your way to the kitchen, or now on the way to the pub, if you live in England. If you prefer
if
to
you're
watch
in Scotland, you can go to B&Q, because it was like it's the only shop that's open, or supermarket.
Is it really?
Yeah, B&Q's rammed today. It's like a social place. Like everyone's just standing chatting in the aisles.
But if you prefer to watch a podcast, put the faces to the voices, and instantly regret making that decision, you can find us on YouTube the following Wednesday. Just search for That's Class and you'll probably find us there. And if you enjoy what we do here, drop us a class 5-star review. 5 stars is the minimum that we require. Isn't that right, Duncan?
It is indeed.
Leave us
Are
a
there
like.
Other stars? I didn't realize there were.
I don't really know. 5's the only one you can click, I think. So
yeah, I think so. Yeah, it grays out if you don't do that. It doesn't let you click the button.
And if you're on YouTube and things like that, leave a like. Try and share the podcast with your friends. Lie to your friends. Say they'll enjoy it, even though you know that they won't. Makes our analytics look a little bit better.
It makes us happy. Gets us through the week.
out of that intro, we'll go straight into it because we have a lot to talk about this week.
We actually do.
We absolutely got our minds blown about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, literally not that long. Not literally this morning.
What
I
happened?
couldn't wait to tell you. It's really hard to explain on what will be an audio podcast, but Hasbro, who are basically own every major toy brand under the sun, except like I wonder how much they'd offer for Lego, but that's not the point. They own a lot of toy brands, and they've just teamed up with a company called RoboZen, the robot company, and they've essentially made a auto-converting, or I suppose auto-transform. There must be something to do with the fact they're not calling it transform, auto-transforming.
Okay.
But it's an auto-converting programmable Optimus Prime from the Transformers franchise. Now, for listeners that don't really know what I'm on about, Transformers show about robots fighting good robots fighting evil robots, and they transform into other things,
Automobiles.
Devices. Well, it depends. Some of them transform into like their cars, tanks, helicopters, trucks.
Oh, one's a cassette, is that right?
Yeah, one turned because it was in the 80s when this first came out. One of them turned into a boombox.
That's amazing.
And he was like the spy one. He was like the tech guy.
So they haven't called them Transformers because of potentially a copywriting thing.
No, it's still a Transformer, but he's still Optimus Prime from the Transformers, but they're introduced him as an auto-converting Optimus Prime.
Yeah, and then also
why is he not an auto-transforming Optimus Prime?
Yeah, and
he's a Transformer.
Now that you've said that, the voice command is convert, not transform.
I think that you can set it up because it has an app on your phone that allows you to set up the commands and stuff, because you can tell it to do different commands and set up program it to do different things.
Oh, that's cool.
But the reason, listeners, we're very excited about this is that you literally say to the truck version, convert, and he transforms into a robot. And this robot not only just stands there, it can walk away, it can do things. It's like something out of Big Hero 6 or something out of a cartoon from
it kind of stood there. It stood there looking like it was breathing, like its chest was going up and down, its arms were sort of flexing and deflexing, and it was weird. It was cool.
Yeah, it's cool. And I tell you what, for $700, it better be the best damn thing, best damn toy I've ever seen.
$799, $800.
Is it $800?
Or was it $699?
I think it's $699.99, but free shipping.
Free shipping. Hey, so has your credit card now down £600?
Oh, it might be. I mean, I don't know. I'm looking at it just now. It's got 5,000 components, 60 microchips, and 27 motors making this. We'll post a video on our Twitter or our Instagram for people that want to see this in action. To understand why we're going so mad about this. It's it's 19 inches tall, right? And you can control it and make it walk. And I'm looking at the app here, and it says you can program it. That's just mental. It's actually mental. I hope they make more. Let's put it this way. I think you agree with me there.
Yeah.
I hope to see more of these Transformers finally.
As you get quite a lot of these collectors, if they make more, they're going to make so much money on just these people. Like they said it in the video, I'm going to buy one to play with and one to keep in a box.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because it's a toy. It's a toy that you're probably going to play with, but also show your grandkids.
I would be taking it. I mean, the first people I'd show to blow their minds would probably be my parents and be like, check this out.
I think if I showed that to my dad, he'd be like, cool, whatever.
I think there'd be this. I think there'd be this moment of the appreciation of the fact that it actually gets up and walks away. And you'd be like,
yeah, it's like the future version of whatever, like a robot. What is it, Revan the robot or something that you would buy in the 70s? That was just a robot that had wheels and it moved up and down and didn't really do much. But that was peak technology at that point. And now we've got this robot that just changes from a truck to a robot.
Yeah, but the truck transforms to a truck and drives away.
Yeah, In terms of technology from the 70s, and if your dad had one of those, then yeah, I can see someone being very, very impressed with it.
I think it's remember Small Soldiers?
I do.
Like, imagine
Good movie.
how far away are we from having like actual Optimus Prime and Megatron actually fight each other
Yeah.
without you having to do it, without you having to hold one in each hand and actually do play with the toys.
You just
Literally
make them
watch
fight.
them fight. Yeah.
And then your dad's like, "What's happening?" And you can do the classic, "Let them fight."
Let them fight. Like, genuinely, like school playgrounds, if they can make this like slightly cheaper, school playgrounds. Remember when people used to play with Beyblades or like Pokemon cards? Right?
Yeah.
Kids are going to be bringing their toy robots to school and they're going to fight each other.
That's amazing.
That's the dream.
And then
The
they'll all
dream
get
right
confiscated and end up in a bin somewhere.
That's exactly it. Watch them get banned straight away after some like one kid programs his robot to rip another one to shreds.
Yeah, exactly. It's like actual robot wars.
Yes. Robot Wars took on a whole new meaning.
Yeah. All these
yes,
engineers are like, son of a bitch.
Oh, why didn't we think of that?
So that looks good.
This is from Hasbro Pulse, yeah, which is like Hasbro's, I guess, like fan fest where they release all their new sort of
like an
collectibles
E3
and stuff like that. Yeah, like an E3 for like toys, I guess. They've released like the Doctor Strange necklace, the Eye of Agamotto, and it's like the Infinity Stone from Marvel.
Oh yeah.
And it opens, like you press the buttons on the side and it like all the bits slide open.
It feels like it's the Hasbro toy section of those that like to cosplay.
A little bit, but then you've got like the actual Transformers. And there's like a bunch of action figures released as well and stuff. I'm looking here at an actual Black Series Wedge helmet from Star Wars. It's a battle simulation helmet.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know what a battle simulation helmet. It's
like a
three
VR
internal
helmet?
speakers. So I think it makes it sound like you're in an X-wing.
That's wicked.
You just sit there next podcast with one on.
Yeah, the 8-year-old in me is just going mental right now.
Yeah. This is a bad time. See, the problem is if you reach our age and you still have your inner 8-year-old, but now you have a credit card.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, ooh.
And I've been doing well with paying it off, so my credit keeps going up.
Here,
I love
have
that.
Another 1,000. No.
Yeah.
No.
My credit card's just like, you've done so well. Here's an extra £1,000. And I'm like, oh god.
Stop it.
Temptation. But that looks good. I don't think I will buy a $700 Transformer doll.
I'm gonna have to do.
I'll
some
save
soul
my credit
searching.
card for flights and things.
Yeah,
when we're allowed to
adult-
fly somewhere.
I mean, I think I'll do some soul searching, and
yeah,
I just can't fathom spending that much money on it. But I just know how much fun I would. Imagine just getting to transform once, and I'm like, all right, okay, that was fun.
Yeah.
What time?
So moving swiftly on.
Moving swiftly on. Yeah, we've got other things to talk about, not
Duncan.
just like cool toys.
You didn't watch the last episode last week. Have you caught up with Captain the
I
Winter
have
Soldier?
caught up.
I keep
We're up
calling
to
it
date.
Captain in the Winter Soldier. It's Falcon.
It's a weird show. It's a
more
weird
of a-
show because it's not just. It's like you may as well have called it Agents of Shield at this point
Yeah,
if you hadn't already used that back in the day. Because there's so many characters.
there is. Yeah, and it's more, in my opinion, the more I watch it now, it is more of a Winter Soldier story than it is a Captain Falcon. Oh yeah,
Captain Falcon. That's coming. You do know that is coming.
It's not really a Falcon story. It's more of a Winter Soldier story. And you've seen episode 5, right?
Yeah, I'm up to date. No, episode 4.
Episode 4, yeah.
Yeah, we're 2 away.
Good episode. Straight off the bat.
It's a great episode.
If you've not seen this episode, Duncan and I are probably going to go into some heavy spoilers about what happens because we do this every week. So watch the episode and then come back and then listen to the pod.
It's insane. Like I don't. It's what amazes me first of all is the quality of the show, like the actual film of it, like the actual filming of it, the director of the fight, the choreography, the whole thing looks like just a Marvel film that's been chopped up.
Some of the CGI I've noticed has not been up to scratch. Just little bits.
I haven't seen that much. That's the thing. It may be his arm. Like his
arm's a bit
arm.
weird. Like there was one where a building blew up and it fell apart, and I just thought, oh, it looks a bit I could have looked a bit better.
Oh well, if that's your
But
only
other than
complaint,
that, that's my only criticism. It's so
a good
good.
show. It's a good show, and it's clear to me. Once again, it comes back to this thing of I'm not really. I understand that the Anthony Mackie's character Sam Wilson is going to become Captain America. I think that's pretty obvious. It's not even a spoiler.
Yeah.
It's like so obvious it's going to
They
be
keep
him.
shoving it down your throat.
Yeah, and the thing is that I understand why it has to be him, and I understand the character and all that sort of stuff. But the Winter Soldier's storyline of the character, is so good, and especially when he's having these conversations with, like, especially now that they've added Zemo in the past 2 episodes, he's
really
Daniel
good.
Brühl is brilliant, but his character and the way they've written him and he's kind of that making the points, like the philosophical points, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just it works so well. And especially this week because they laid off kind of the buddy cop like shtick that I don't think's really worked.
Yeah, they kind of stopped that,
which is where I'm saying that I don't really kind of like the buddy cop thing, and it kind of makes me not like the Falcon character.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas laying off the buddy cop stuff and having Sam Wilson do his coaching when he was like saying, like, I used to.
That was a great scene.
Counselor.
To try and counsel,
job.
to counsel the bad guy, and it was actually working. It was so good to see.
But that was his stick as well. That was what he was doing in the Winter Soldier in the original the film. Like that's where he was. So that made me like the cat go. Remember I was saying like, it feels like it's a bit forced. I'm not really sure it's like his, but that kind of brought me back round to his character. I was like, oh, okay, well that makes a lot of sense. Like it makes more sense now. And I wish they'd led with that at the start of the series. If you go back, and remember when he was doing the fishing boat thing, if they'd swapped the fishing boat thing out for a bit more of him going back and doing the counselling,
then it would have actually hit harder. I think
it would have made more sense as to why he's going to end up with the shield, because you finally see that he's gone back to trying to do counselling in his spare time or earn some money or whatever, and that would have made sense. But now you're kind of like, all right, okay, and then you've got Wyatt Russell as
who plays such a good bad. I'm going to call him a bad guy. He plays such a good bad guy and such a good wild card on the edge. He knows for a fact that he's never going to live up to that Captain America standard. And then when they found the vials of the serum, I kind of predicted everything. I was like, oh, he's going to steal one, he's going to take it, and then he's going to wreak shit, and he's probably going to kill someone, and it's going to look bad.
Yeah. And
then that basically all plays out. His partner dies, which I thought was a shame, because I thought his partner might have had some sort of development in that because during Sam's chat with the quote unquote bad guy, he was saying, oh, maybe he's got a point. He was siding with Falcon and with Winter Soldier. Yeah. I started to really like him, and then obviously he got thrown into a pillar and punched. His whole sternum.
That's because his character got character development. So then when he gets thrown into that pillar and every bone in his body breaks into dust, that's so that you're like, oh, he was kind of okay. No, that's because now he can go off the deep end.
Yeah, now he can go into a full-on rage and then kill someone with a shield in front of like hundreds of people.
Yeah, that was a bit daft.
I genuinely, although I called it saying that he'd kill someone, I did not expect him to kill someone like that.
I knew it was going to be like brutal, but I thought
he was going to like kick someone off a roof or something, and then he'd be seen. Not like...
No, I think the rage was there. You could tell he was getting more and more cross, especially when he gets beat up by the Wakandan.
Which is a great addition, bringing them back in.
That was very funny. And see, that was the one bit of buddy cop drama that worked for me so far, which has been that bit where he's like, we really should help him. It's like, you're doing great, John. And he's like, just get beat from pillar to post.
They know not to fight those people. And when they did join in on the fight, it was more about they were definitely trying to kill them, and they were like, "Don't kill."
Please don't.
Yeah,
we need him. We need them both.
And now Zemo's disappeared,
He'll be back.
He'll be back. He's really good.
I like Zemo.
Me too.
The only one that surprised me was that lady that died was called Madani. It was making me laugh because I was saying
Why?
Because Madani is the last name of the agent in Punisher,
Really?
and her mum was like in the first season of the Punisher.
So
And I
you're
was just
thinking
kinda
it might be a
I
intro
don't
to the
know.
Punisher?
I feel like it felt to me like a strange name, and it feels like
Nothing's ever there by accident
nothing's ever there by accident
with Marvel.
with Marvel. And part of me was just like, I was like Madani, and I was like, that's strange.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking to myself, now there's this power broker person, but then I was like, well, if someone was going to take out the power broker, it would be the Punisher. I was like, what a plot twist that would be.
Do you think they bring in John Birkensaw or whatever his
John
name is?
Berntal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he'll definitely play Frank Castle. It's just whether or not they bring him in.
How epic would that be if he turns
That's what I'm
up?
trying to say. Like, imagine if the Punisher was in it at the very end. He's like, I'll take it from here, boys and girls. You don't need to see it. That's the thing.
You just need
to be gruesome.
Yeah.
Off camera. You don't need to see a lot of his.
Yeah, because he is like an R-rated comic book character.
He is, but you could make him the same sort of violence level as the Winter Soldier. Because if you look at the Winter Soldier in the scene at the flashback scene,
yeah, it's pretty hectic.
Yes, that was pretty hectic and was violent. So it was violent without showing you kind of all the violence. If that makes sense. So I think they could get away as long as you had a smart director. But yeah, I kind of hyped myself up and I was like, oh my god, imagine if they had the Punisher in this somehow.
Imagine.
That would just make
honestly,
this show.
that would be so good.
Oh,
that's good. Right, nice one. Bear with me. I'm just going to plug my laptop in to charge.
Oh, put it into charge. That's amazing. The microphone's picking up the dogs barking outside.
Lovely.
I'm
Nice. What's next on the agenda?
I was just saying that my microphone, I was watching the audio levels, it's picking up the dogs barking outside.
Oh, it's fine. Zoom has like a natural audio like cancellation thing.
All right.
So if you're on Zoom and you go into preferences,
yeah,
and click on audio, you can say suppress background noise, and you can go like auto, low, medium, high, and then it does like.
All right.
I've got mine on auto, and then it's usually fine. And I'm right next to a window with cars, so.
All right, fair enough. I was just listening to it. I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's fun.
Cool. Moving on. What you've got written down? Age of Empire.
Oh, the Age of Empires 4.
Yeah.
Just that came out, and there was a big gameplay reveal. Remember Age of Empires?
Yeah, that's the one where you basically tell a troop of army men to go somewhere and do something to someone else.
Yeah, you manage a civilization. It's if any of our listeners.
Oh no, I'm thinking of Command and Conquer. I think
it's all much. Command and Conquer is just like the military version, the modern day military version, and then you've got Age of Empires, which is like just managing your little like empire of I don't know something. You can go the Celts, the Japanese, the where else can you go? The Vietnamese are one of them. There's so many now, so many races. The
Age of Empires is more about civilizations.
Yeah, it's PC strategy. So like you've got to manage everything and manage all your resources. It's fun. It's real time strategy. Occurred to me
so like you have to wait like an hour for a house to be built type thing.
No, it's not that bad. Like it's not. It's just real time. As in like the moves you make happen and like you select a group and move them.
Yeah.
And back in the day, it would be like turn based. So you'd like select a group, move them, and then the AI would do something, and you would do something. This is real time. So if you want to build a house, you better build it because the computer could send a bunch of people to like trebuchets to wreck it.
Okay.
Obviously, trebuchets, not catapults, because trebuchets are superior. But
I won't go into that. I believe
we won't go into that. But yeah, just believe me on that one. Bro.
But that looks cool. You fancy like you'll probably download that?
I think well, it's owned by Microsoft, so they will be releasing it on Game Pass. So if you don't have Game Pass,
will
it's
it
probably
also
the
be on
best deal.
Steam, or will it just be on Xbox?
It will be on Steam, but it will also, like all these things now, it will be on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, it is free.
Excellent.
So fun times.
Fun times.
You wanted to, you're asking, you say you're reading it now, and you're like, oh, and what's this Homefront Easter egg that you're talking about?
Yeah, what's this about?
Okay, so we talked about Easter eggs last week.
We did.
Real life Easter eggs. Well, this is an Easter egg in a game, right?
So not
Which
so
is
much the
a
chocolate variety,
Not
but
so much
the
of the
physical
chocolate variety, and will not satisfy any chocolate cravings. That being said, so Homefront Revolution was a game that came out on the Xbox One. It's available. It's actually on sale right now on the Microsoft Store. And let me just pull up. So it was a first-person shooter, if I remember correctly. I'm going to quickly look it up because I can't quite remember the full story. Homefront Revolution. It came out in May 2016.
Never seen this game before in my life.
I don't think it did very well, if I remember. It takes place in 2029, an alternate timeline after North Korea occupy cities in America. So it's kind of like Man in the High Castle type.
Oh yeah, but instead of Nazis, it's Korea.
Yeah, pretty much. So you're kind of a revolutionary, a freedom fighter type person, and I don't know. I didn't really play it, and like you said, it kind of. I don't think it did very well. I don't think it got great reviews. Bypassed us. Anyway,
yeah.
Going forwards to a couple of weeks ago, somebody at Easter posted on Reddit, and they said, to any game developers, what is the best Easter egg you've ever hidden in a game? And a guy posted on Reddit or Twitter, it was Reddit or Twitter, and a guy posted going, I worked on Homefront Revolution and I managed to code in the entire TimeSplitters 2 campaign into an arcade machine in the game, rendered in 4K.
Shit.
And no one ever found it.
So you could just...
Everyone was like, wait, what? He's like, so everyone's been crying out for TimeSplitters 2 was a first-person shooter. It came out like early 2000s, late 90s.
Yeah, I know that game, yeah.
You know that game, yeah?
Yeah.
Brilliant game. Like really good. It had split screen. You could play it with your friends on the couch. It was great, like one you'd rent from Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Way back, showing our age. It was incredible, right? And everyone's been crying out for a remaster of it for years. And this guy just posted on Reddit going, I coded in the entire game inside the game. So it's like, who are you, Exhibit?
So in the game of Homefront, did you have to find like an old school
you have to find an arcade
game,
cabinet.
an arcade game?
Yes. And you click enter, you press like the action button, and your character looks over the screen and it loads TimeSplitters 2.
That's
and
insane.
It only ever loaded the first level. And then some guy said, no, like the first level was like kind of the original Easter egg. And he was like, no, I coded the whole campaign. If you enter the specific like cheat code at the menu, it unlocks the entire game.
That's insane. That's an Easter egg that only he would enjoy, I think.
No, because like everyone really wants to play it now. So like if you go on Reddit, someone's like,
everyone wants to play Homefront now.
Everyone, I'm buying it. Luckily it's on sale. I'm gonna.
You're gonna buy it
for £4 to replay TimeSplitters 2. I mean, getting TimeSplitters 2 to work nowadays would be so hard because they haven't remastered it yet.
Yeah.
Whereas this guy was like, oh yeah, it renders in 4K on your 4K telly.
That's wicked.
I was like, that's mental.
What an idea.
What an absolute genius. And then there was this huge big debate because he was like, oh yeah, there's a cheat code, but I can't remember it. And then some other guy said, some other guy the other day on Twitter said, oh, you mean this cheat code? And posted it, and everyone's like, this man is the Messiah. He's the Messiah.
Hats off to that man, yeah.
Hats off to that man.
That's incredible. What a little, that's a fun little thing. Like, what, a happy little piece of news for a game that was not so good.
Yeah, for a game not so good to have one of the greatest games of all time.
Yeah.
In there.
Embedded inside the game.
Embedded in the code, yeah.
So that game's now going to get more sales because they want to play the game that's inside the game.
I hope it means we don't get a Homefront sequel because we don't want that. We just want the next TimeSplitters. That's all.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Oh dear. So yes, I'm going to definitely pay. I know I was tempted to buy an Optimus Prime, but I think I'll just stick with my £4 and buy Homefront: The Revolution.
I think so.
So,
Save your
there you go, listeners.
£696 or whatever it would be.
It's not. It's 500 and something. 500 quid.
Okay,
500 pound. 500 British pound coins are $600. Or £4. I get to play find Time Splitters too.
So maybe save £494.
Yeah, I know, but oh well. Think about it. I don't know. I definitely won't. What I will do is like lock Hasbro Pulse after I've had a beer. Make sure that I don't make any stupid decisions. Or great decisions.
That's a good idea.
No, it's not a great decision, Duncan. Stop it.
Keep Kat on the case. Make her just look over your shoulder at all times.
Nope. Nope.
Or have like an alarm bell go off whenever you're on that website.
That's it. I said just lock it from the router so the router can't access it.
Moving swiftly on to another TV show that you mentioned a couple episodes ago. And then
I did.
I said
it was coming out and I never watched it.
You never watched it?
No.
Oh my god. So you haven't seen...
that looks cool. I was like, that looks cool. We should probably, we could talk about that.
You haven't seen anything of it yet?
I've seen trailers and clips, but I don't know any of the real context behind it.
So listeners that might not know what we're talking about the Amazon Prime TV show Invincible, which is a comic book cartoon, but what I didn't realize is that it's basically an R-rated comic book cartoon.
Yeah, it's like The Boys, but animated.
Yeah, that's a really good way to describe it, is it's like The Boys, but animated. It was a comic book already, and it's like they've finished the whole line. The whole story's finished. So those of you that have read the comics, if you watch it, you know what's happening. I think some things are different. They've changed the way that you might have known things, or that events have happened. I'm speaking more about episode 1. If you've not even watched it, I don't want to even talk about it, and we can talk about it next week.
All right, okay.
Because episode 1, I switch it on, and I'm like, oh, this is nice. This is like a comic book, This guy, Mark Grayson, is he's the son of a superhero, but he hasn't quite got his powers yet, and he's in high school, and apparently, his race, his dad's an alien, much like Superman.
All right, okay.
And it takes you up until adolescence to get your powers start to appear.
So that old chestnut.
That old chestnut. So he's going through life in high school, and he's like, I don't have my powers yet. This is so shit. And I was quite worried that, are we going to have a couple episodes like this? But episode 1 gets his superpowers and then starts freaking out, flying off on his own, and then gets trained up by his dad, things like that. But episode 1 just has this complete turnaround, out of the blue thing, and you're left sat on your couch just what the fuck has just happened?
Was this not? It's written by the guy that wrote The Walking Dead. And was The Walking Dead not infamous for plot twists? And,
it was
people
initially
dying that you didn't think were going to die, or
plot twists initially, and then The Walking Dead got a little bit predictable.
Yeah, but anything that runs for 9 seasons is going to get predictable.
Yeah. Let me just get up the IMDb, and I'll read to you some of the people that are involved. Because what's great about Amazon, I think we mentioned this before, was that when you pause it, it tells you the actors that are on the screen.
Yeah, X-ray. Yeah, it's really clever.
It gives you the IMDb page. So, cast-wise, Stephen Yeun from Walking Dead plays Invincible. His mum is Sandra Oh from Grey's Anatomy or Killing Eve more recently. She's a really good actress. His dad is played by J.K. Simmons.
All right, okay, yeah.
Zazie Beetz is in it. Walter Goggins is in it.
Oh, really?
Gillian Jacobs from Community is in it.
Wow.
Jason Mantzoukas is in it.
He's in everything animated.
Zachary Quinto from Star Trek is in it. It's insane. The cast is Mark Hamill's in it. Seth Rogen's in it.
What are we watching?
John Hamm is in it.
Day. John Hamm's in it. Funny hell. That's the same with Rick and Morty as well. You look at some of the special guest stars, you're like, what the hell?
Man, every time a new character comes on screen, I pause it and I'm like, I'll sit and watch and I'm sitting to myself, who is this guy? I recognize his voice. And then you pause it and you're like, fuck. It's such a good TV show, man. I'm 5 episodes in, I think. The first 3 came out like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm all in. It's so good.
So good. So many superhero things already. What were we watching? Jason Mantzoukas was it was Solar Opposites, which is the
you were telling me about that
one
today.
I was telling you that I slagged off thinking like the very first episode or something. I told you about it and I was like, why am I watching this? It's just like not as good as like Rick and Morty or whatever.
Final Space or something,
or Final Space. Episode 2 onwards, I was like, oh my god, this is like brilliant, but also like, really dark. But like it doesn't deal with like the sort of Rick and Morty kind of sometimes deals with like a bit of philosophy or a bit like moral like, teachings at times.
Little bit of depression.
Moral Opposites has Solar Opposites even has none of that. It's just dark and it's just funny. It's kind of more like leans towards like sort of that Family Guy sort of level, but it's still got Rick and Morty. Definitely falls in line with like Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
the darkness. I like to say like Invincible. It's just like at times it goes there, and you're like, "That's absolutely brilliant."
Yeah,
and you're like, horrific, but brilliant.
Yeah, where is this available? Netflix.
It's on Disney Plus.
Oh, it's Disney Plus.
It's Hulu. I was just
Disney
like, I was
Plus.
like, I don't know if anyone at Disney Plus has actually watched Solar Opposites.
I love
and been
how
like, we need to lock this down.
Yeah, I love how Disney Plus has changed since it opened. Which I think was last year. This time last year, maybe.
Time last
2 years
year.
ago.
No, it was 2000 and...
Was it 2000? I thought 2020.
2020. It released early in New Zealand and stuff, and it came to us in 2020.
So I got it early because I was in New Zealand.
Yes, and it was all like, "Hey, Star Wars, Disney, Martin." It's just like
now it's like Star came along and it's Deadpool and all these R-rated
Deadpool, Con Air, Commando.
Like Disney now has on the main page when you go down it says horror films, and I'm like, what the fuck? I thought I was on Disney Plus, like the safest place of streaming.
Why is Bambi in there? What the hell?
Yeah,
what version of Bambi
just
is
the
this?
first hour of Bambi
on repeat.
I don't even think it's the first 5 minutes.
It's just Aladdin, but he actually gets when they're like he's like steals the stuff in the market, and then he just gets his hand cut off because that's what they like.
Or he gets trapped in the cave, and that's the end of the movie.
And that's the end of the it's just all the Disney films, but the heroes don't get saved by plot devices.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, that is dark. It's like with Toy Story, when Toy Story 3, when all the toys actually delete scene, all the toys go into the melter and get melted into one big blob of plastic.
It just pops out.
Just pops out, and it's just like Woody's arm, just like waving.
Nice. Shall we move on to what I'd guess is topic of the day?
Is it topic? I don't know.
It's more of like a news day today, hasn't it?
It has been like a news day, but we were chatting about like games and stuff, and then we were chatting the other day about like Pokemon and how Pokemon it's 25 years old, and we briefly covered it the other day, like in our first episode.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
and then
because they released the 4 new games, right?
Yeah, they re-released some of the old classics depending on which one you played, and we were chatting about.
But have they re-released them
you can play
on Switch? They haven't released them on Switch yet.
They released Red and Blue on Switch.
Have they really?
Pikachu and Eevee.
Oh yeah, the Go one. Yeah.
No, it's not Go though. It's Red and Blue.
Oh, I need to. Oh my god.
I
was looking at emulators the other day. I was like, I need to play Pokemon again.
So the Let's Go games for the Switch.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, I could be completely wrong. I'll need to look it up. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
The Let's Go ones were basically Red and Blue, but you could move your Go companions, your Go ones across to it. So if you wanted to actually use a creature from your Go game on your phone, you could do that. Because you feel attached to them, but you can play the actual game.
I think it's just.
It's definitely the game.
I don't know. I think it's Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee, and from the Pokemon Go app, you could like transfer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you can transfer them across, but it's not.
But it's not the games Red and Blue. Is what I was on about. Like it's not. It's not the original Game Boy game.
I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, I think
They
I
are
don't think that's
remakes
it.
of Pokemon Yellow. So yes, they're red and blue.
No, oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, sorry, yeah. But it's 60,
Yeah, so
60 pounds.
it's.
That's like a full
I'm
game.
sure you could probably find it on eBay a bit cheaper than £60.
Yeah, I know, that's true.
But yes, so yeah, Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu kind of combined with Pokemon Go, but they're essentially Pokemon Yellow, which was
The
a
Pikachu
remake
one, yeah.
of Pokemon Blue.
It was
and
it was
Red.
more of like you had the opportunity to get Ash's Pokemon. So like you initially started with the Pikachu,
Yeah, and it
and
followed you
then
around.
and then it followed you around, and then certain people that you spoke to in the game would give you a Charmander and a Bulbasaur and a Squirtle.
Yes, so you got the opportunity to own all three,
Yeah.
which is and so Pokemon Yellow is probably the best. Let's face it, I think
Yes.
it probably is the best one.
It was the best. It was my brother's favorite. It's
Gold
up
and
there.
Silver as well, because you could collect the originals in that as well.
Because Gold and Silver, you would finish Johto and go into Kanto, right?
You take the ferry and then you arrive in Pallet Town. You're like, oh boy, here I go again.
But then I looked that up. Apparently, when you get into Kanto, you've already completed the Elite Four or the League or whatever. So your Pokemon are like 60 plus levels. And then you arrive in Pallet Town and they're just level 3.
Oh yeah, it's exactly the
That's so
same. but, like,
ridiculous.
it's just it's because you arrive as like this all conquering like. Think about how dark Pokemon is. You arrive there with your
Yeah.
6 slaves in tow, and
Yeah.
they're just these all legendaries from another world.
Yeah. And you
And you're just
destroy
like-
all these Pidgeys and things.
Hello, I have
What,
a little bit. It's like what do you call it? It's like bug catcher Rory wants to fight. Hello, I've got a
Pidgey.
I've got a Pidgey, and it's just like bang.
Here's my
Right.
Gyarados.
Have you seen that meme? And it's like twins want to. It's like the twins one where it's like double. It's like
Yeah,
somebody
double
twins.
fight.
It's they've got like a Pichu, the 2 Pichus, and it's a male and female, and it's like trainer throws out their 2 Pokemon. It's like 2 legendaries, but it's in the new 3D graphics, so you
Yeah.
can see the scale.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
the 2 Pichus are like down here, and like the ground is way up here, and it's like Groundon used Mega Blast, bang, it just blows them off the map.
That's amazing. What speaking now that we're on the subject of we're pretty heavy in on the subject of Pokemon, out of the games that have come out to date, what would you say are your favorite games that have come out? Because
Yellow or Silver.
yeah, because I've only really played the original Red, Blue, and Yellow. Oh, like a lot, like over and over. I never really got.
over and over.
I don't know why, but I never really got into anything after that. I don't know why. But so I want you to try and sell it
gotta
to me
emulate
in
it.
a different way.
What?
So
Gold
you
and Silver?
you like Gold and Silver, and they're making the remakes that they're making are Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah, I never really got into those ones, which is bizarre.
Were they called Diamond and Pearl initially?
Yeah, they were.
So now this one's called Brilliant Diamond
Brilliant
and Shining
Diamond.
Pearl.
They're running out of dualities to make games out of.
Yeah,
So it's
'cause
like red, blue, white, black, and then they're
Yeah.
like sword and shield. They're like shit.
yeah, and they also did make Red and Blue again, but made it Leaf Green and Fire Red.
Fire red, and then
Yeah.
it would get because the blue one I think was never released in like everywhere else is blue.
Yeah,
think we
Blue
were
was
the
just
only-
Britain, I think.
Yeah, I think blue was
The
just Britain
UK.
or something like that.
Yeah.
And then we have I don't know what else was there. There's Pokemon Crystal, which was like the gold and silver one, and they always do like the third one, which is the one that's basically the in between, like takes the legendaries from both games and puts them in the third one. To
Okay.
try to take your money in again. It's bizarre.
So if you were to go
Uh,
back and play Pokemon again, what game would you play? This is going to lead into
Silver.
our little
Silver or
Discussion.
yellow? Probably yellow.
probably yellow, I reckon.
Probably
yeah.
yellow. I'd probably buy I'd be honest, I'd buy a Switch and buy Let's Go Pikachu.
Yeah. So
That's probably what I would do.
let's go. So this is good to get into the subject. Let's go. Apparently is so we're going to talk about for the listeners is the Nuzlocke challenge, which I know about, but Duncan doesn't know about.
So
And I
you,
don't know.
you
if-
think this is a way to play Pokemon? I really
It's-
don't think
it's
there
a-
is a way to
it's-
play
so-
Pokemon.
Nuzlocke was invented by spoilers, a man called Nuzlocke on Reddit.
Shock.
And he basically he like us, he's grown up with Pokemon, and as an 8-year-old, it's a really difficult game. But as the ages that we are now, you kind of know how it rolls, and you kind of know the grinding and what
Don't
defeats
know.
what and things like
I
that.
still think that cave that you have to go through when it's completely pitch black will be even more infuriating now than it was when you were 8.
But in terms of fighting and developing and things like that,
Oh,
it's a pretty
yeah,
easy
how to
game.
actually play the game.
Yeah. So what Nuzlocke did was he created a challenge to make the games slightly more difficult for those that have completed it already. And like they need a new reason to jump back in. Okay? So for you,
Right.
and we'll just say for argument's sake, for you and me, we'll both start playing yellow again.
Right.
So you basically get given Pikachu. Yeah?
Yeah, you do.
Usually it would be like what your starter is going to be type thing.
Yeah.
So a Nuzlocke challenge, and there are core rules and there are optional rules, and then you can increase the difficulty if you want to and things like that. So I'll read to you the core rules, all right?
Uh-huh.
So basically, you have your starter Pokemon, and the Nuzlocke, I think this is an optional rule, but this is the rule I like to go by, is once you are given your very first Pokeball, the Nuzlocke starts. Okay? Because at the start of the game, you have to go up and get to the Pokemon and then come back down. So you do meet some Pokemon on the way, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So you have to go up to the Pokemon, come back down to Dr. Oak, Professor Oak, and then give him the thing, and then you start your journey. He gives you like 3 Pokeballs or something. So once you've done that and you have a Pokeball, the Nuzlocke happens. It begins. So on every route that you encounter, so it starts with obviously Route 1.
Route 1.
You are only allowed to catch the first wild Pokemon that you encounter in that area. Okay? So
they're all terrible.
In Route 1, it could be a Pidgey or a Caterpie, I think. Or a Rattata.
I think a Rattata if you got lucky.
Yeah, if you got lucky. So, however, if you're in that area and the Pokemon that you're fighting either faints or runs away, you can't catch anything else in that route.
That feels like Dark Souls level of difficulty for absolutely no reason.
It's so good. What have they written here? If the first encounter in the area is a double battle, the player is free to choose which of the 2 wild Pokemon they would like to catch, but may only catch one of them. So in later games, when you meet 2 Pokemon at once, you have to choose which one.
But what if I want wings?
The only time, this is again for more modern day games, if you encounter a shiny Pokemon and it's your first Pokemon in that route, you can catch it and then catch another one because shinies are shinies and you want to get shinies.
I think I played multiple Pokemon games throughout the years. I don't think I ever, in the history of playing it, have ever caught a shiny Pokemon.
No, me neither. Not even
I didn't even know I didn't actually realize they were a thing until not very long ago.
So, do you want me to keep going with the rules?
Go on, give us a couple more.
So, say you've got your Pikachu and you've got your Pidgey, right?
Right.
And you're making your way up to Brock as your first battle.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you go up into the first town, if you go to the left, you can all go into like Route 17 or 14 where you also battle your rival again.
All right, okay.
Do you remember that? You can also catch like
Maybe.
a Nidoran or a Nidorino or a Mankey in that grass.
A Mankey.
So you could go there. So potentially you could have a Mankey and you could have a fighting Pokemon for a rock gym, which is pretty good, I think.
I think so. I'm trying to look up the map just now. The original map. The original map.
The original map. Kanto.
Type in original. Is it Kanto? I can't remember. It's insane looking at the map like now.
Yeah. So small. So basically, say you've got these 3 Pokemon before you get to Brock, right?
Uh-huh.
If any one of those Pokemon faints in a battle, be it with a wild Pokemon or with a trainer, you have to release that Pokemon back into the wild because it is officially dead. Okay? Another thing that I forgot.
It's officially dead.
An optional rule, which I actually agree with, is what the Nuzlocke's meant to do is it provides difficulty but also more emotion. So an optional rule which I like is that every Pokemon you catch, you nickname. So that you have a personal attachment to this Pokemon.
It's so
So
dark.
so when say your Pidgey dies, you have to go to the computer and then release it into the wild so that you're not tempted to bring it back in and like stop playing the Nuzlocke. So off to a start, it's pretty difficult. You have to nickname your stuff. The player must only use Pokemon they have captured themselves, meaning Pokemon acquired through trading and like being given by people are prohibited to use. Okay?
Right, okay. I'm actually reading this map just now, and I'm beginning to think that this map is like got things from like the cartoon or something, because there's
Yeah.
areas here that I do not remember
Also,
in.
the player may not voluntarily reset or reload the game whenever things go wrong. Being able to do so would render all of the other rules pointless. So it's basically like
Fire
hard
Emblem.
mode.
Hard mode, yeah.
Yeah.
New Game Plus.
Other things that you can do to increase the difficulty is randomly choose your starter. So if you weren't in yellow, if you were in a different one, apparently there's like the last number in your trainer ID number. So when you press start, it gives you a trainer ID number. If it ends in 1 to 3, you have to choose the grass type. If it ends in 4 to 6, you have to choose the fire type. If it ends in 7 to 9, you have to choose the water type. And if it ends in a 0, you get a free choice.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
Great
little
for
things like
0.
that make it harder.
Oh, imagine being stuck with a Bulbasaur.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But it's just it just makes the difficulty of the game that little bit more entertaining, and that like there's a bit more stakes in it.
Okay, yeah. It sounds a lot like Fire Emblem, which is a Nintendo game where like
Yeah,
if characters die, characters die.
I've heard that actually be compared to this, which is it's quite good that you've said that.
Yeah, I genuinely like Fire Emblem is a game where like if you get attached to these characters throughout the story, and then you make one mistake in a battle and they get like murdered,
Yeah.
but that's it, they're gone.
And it also like it gives you, it encourages you to play in a different way than you normally would. So you'd be like, oh, I need to catch a Growlithe because he's going to grow up to be a Arcanine, which is a badass Pokemon. But if you've only got 5 Pokemon to choose from, 6 Pokemon, and you've only got like the first 5 routes, say, to actually catch them.
That's insane.
I know.
Because then like you're like only. We've made 150 custom Pokemon. It's like, yeah, but I only want to pick 5.
Yeah, it's grim. It sounds great though, and it's one of the things why I've wanted to sort of get back into a Pokemon game is try out a Nuzlocke for real and then see how it goes.
Would definitely start it on Pokemon Yellow. Imagine.
Well,
imagine,
yeah.
You should do it on Let's Go, right? Because
Let's Go is difficult because you can see them.
Yeah, but you can do it on Let's Go, and then you could transfer one over because you played Pokemon Go on your phone, did you not?
I did, yeah.
So you could transfer one over that you caught in the actual wild.
This is true.
You could transfer one over that you caught. You went walking, Rory, and you caught one, and then you brought it back. And you transfer over to Let's Go, and it could follow you around in the game, and then it can be brutally murdered by Mewtwo down the line.
Yeah. I think I've read that, or I've seen on YouTube that the new Pokemon Go games are quite hard to do Nuzlocke because you can see the Pokemon, so you can like dodge them and be like, "This is the first one I want to encounter, so I'm gonna just run into this guy." Which is it's fair enough, but I've heard it's a very easy game. You don't have to battle Pokemon anymore. You just have to catch them, and XP is shared amongst your whole team all the time, rather than when you were grinding and you'd put your weakest one at the front and then you'd swap them out and then kill someone and then
I used to do that, but then they made this thing called XP All, which meant that you just gave it to one of them. As long as that one was in it, it would share it amongst all its friends.
Oh, is that like a thing you can hold?
Yeah, it's like a thing you can hold, I'm pretty sure.
That's quite good.
It's pretty cool. I'm reading it just now. It looks kind of fun.
What,
I think you can still do most of it though. You don't just have. You can just catch, or you can actually play the game.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cool. So cool, so nerdy, so cool.
Yeah, I know. This has been a very nerdy episode.
It has. It was never not going to be when you start off with a $700 piece of plastic
Yeah, I know.
That's
Yeah,
all
well,
your
yes,
all your
exactly.
8-year-old hopes and dreams in one thing.
Yeah. Deep down, we're all nerds. We just don't want to accept it.
That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
Shall we call it there?
Yeah, I think so.
Nice one. That'll do it for this week. If you want to contribute to the topics, find us on all the socials by searching for That's Class Pod and let us know what you find class. We'll probably put it in a future episode if we also find class, but if we don't, we probably won't. You can also catch our faces on YouTube, like I mentioned at the top of the episode. If you want to listen to this all again, but in visual form and put faces to the voices and then instantly regret that decision, Duncan's got a nice... We're both wearing flannels today, so you can both have a look at our flannels. Nice little shirt. Thanks for listening to the episode. Big thanks to Stuart Hosking for his intro music. I hope all of you have a very super day. Say goodbye, Duncan.
Goodbye, Duncan.